You have a change of heart, wanna make a brand new start. You've been living on the edge with forever as a pledge. No more giving it up, turning me loose, setting us free. Baby, keeping it real, cause we got what takes for sure. There's no turning back anymore. Can you see it's all a game? Life goes on all the same. If at first you don't succeed, all you've got is all you need. If you believe, then stake your claim.
Hello, Rise and Thrivers. Welcome to Monday evening, December 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and welcome to Rise and Thrive Together. We are your local co-hosts for the evening, and we are excited for tonight's episode. But before we begin, let us remind you of who we're about. Rise and Thrive Together is a community that's committed to educate and empower and equip you to get the results that you want through real talk by taking real actions. So I'm super psyched. I can't believe it's the last Monday of 2025, just a few more days before we end this year. And I'm psyched to bring you on, sis. What's up? Happy Monday. How are you?
Good. How's it going? Hey, Rise and Thrivers. How are you?
Yes. We're here. This is it. Our final episode, finale of the season of the year of 2025. And we have been having this amazing conversation this whole entire month, but really puts together our whole entire year. So I cannot believe, on top of that, interesting enough that it literally, this episode ends at 140 episodes in a row. So here we are, finishing our year of transformation of 2025.
Wow.
I know, right? I'm like, You take a breath. I'm like, When I said finishing, I was like, are we ever really finishing our transformation? I don't think so. But we're getting present to the things that matter to us and what we wanted this year, and all the amazing guests that have supported us and all of the community that have been watching along the way. We've had tons and tons of topics and breakthroughs and breakdowns and beautiful, viewers that have shared their stories. But I'm, curious where you're at right now with just a few days left.
So I'm always in a reflective state towards the end of a year. And so I kind of get calm and focused on what it is that opens up for me for 2026. And I am still working on my vision board. I am very clear about 3 things that I will be working on. And I'm just very calm and very reflective. So that's the space that I'm in.
I love that, because really that is, when people talk about goals, and especially when we're coming to the end of it, it doesn't matter if it's the end of the year, if it's, you and I have talked about many times, and many of our guests as well, about having accountability partners to really forward those things that matter. The way that you forward them is, like you said, kind of stepping back. We've had that really great conversation for a while about the setbacks that set us up for our success. And I think the stepping back and kind of reflecting through it that has us kind of ground ourselves into it, see what, happened, see what didn't happen, and see how we can move that forward. One of the questions was how do we turn these lessons that we've had during this year or in this moment, even in this week, to have it last, have this long lasting impact? And I just thought that was a really interesting, question that somebody came to me and was just you said you've had these setbacks, you've had all these lessons. How do you kind of, use them as an opportunity to have this keep you moving forward, helps you kind of thrive forward? And I think you said it perfectly, which is those lessons are something that we really need to reflect upon. And there are many ways that we reflect upon them. I like to journal them out. I know you've talked to the viewers a lot about speaking them out loud as well. And I love that you were talking about working on your vision board, because we've talked about that for a while. And that is something that I really do want to work on. I miss magazines. I've been looking for magazines, right? I've
You
been
can't miss them. They're just so
I
expensive.
know. I mean, that's old. Like back in the day, you were able to just be like, "Hey, anybody have old magazines?" And many people have said to me they've moved from the paper to the, you know, virtual, like online. And so, I mean, I love that there, you have Pinterest, right? But there's something for me that I like to feel and look at and hold and kind of flip through, very different than um, online. So I'm asking you, how are you doing your vision board? Like, how do you get creative about it?
I, depending on the magazine, I paid a $400 that it's gonna cost. It's like $13 depending on the magazine. It could be 15, 18. And that's what I do. I would rather, like you, I like to flip through the pages.
Mm,
And I also look at the letters when they
yes.
have, the wording and certain letters jump out, or fonts is a better
Mm,
way of saying it.
yep.
And I use those, but I have it like I'm a kid. My vision board is always so much fun for me to create, though I understand the purpose of it. I still make it fun. What I want you to do for me, Reg, is ask that question again,
Yeah.
because I love that question.
Yeah. So the question that I got from somebody, and I'm writing it and I wrote it down, was how do you turn the lessons into lasting change?
So here's one way, and here's how I do it. I just choose. I choose to do it. We've talked to you guys and ourselves as well about your why and having a really strong why. If your why is really strong, no matter what challenges you're facing, no matter what life throws your way, or as they say, life is lifing, if you are choosing that the transformation that you've started and you're choosing to have that continue, it is going to take you being consistent
Mm,
and knowing,
yep.
because it's your why that drives you. If it's a namby-pamby kind of weak why, you're not going to keep the transformation going. It's got to be a why that's so strong that on those days where you absolutely feel like, I just don't want to do this anymore, it's so hard, you think about your why. Why am I really doing it? Why am I making this transformation? And that's going to help you press through. And we always say it, you are not in this alone. So you call your person. Reg mentioned an accountability person earlier. Have one. If you don't, have one, because that's the person that you call and you're like, hey, I'm struggling. And that person's going to be like, well, what are you struggling with? I know for me, my accountability, I don't have a person, I have people.
Yes.
So I just can call any one of them. It doesn't even matter who it is. I don't say I have one for this and one for that. No,
Yep.
listen, if you're my accountability person, if you don't understand that you are accountable for everything in my life, then you do now. But I call any of them and they talk me through it. They're not there to just listen and be like, oh, okay, I understand. No, you're hold me accountable. That let me know that yes, my feelings matter, but I don't have to live in my feelings. I'm not staying there. If I want this transformation, I have to go get it and I have to be consistent with it, even on the days I don't want to. And sometimes I just need to hear that from another voice other than myself. So if you don't have an accountability person, our suggestion is to get one or not. Try to figure it out yourself on the days you can't push you and you really need that other person.
Love it.
So I love that question.
Yeah, I was really grateful for that. Thank you. I don't gonna let the viewers know, and I'm not sure, sis, if you even know, because this is where Rise and Thrive Together. We're live and we go exactly as it is. There's no fluff, there's no editing. We're right here. I'm not sure if you realize that you're off screen. So we've been hearing your voice beautifully. We just got a black, well, on my end.
Oh, I don't know. I see me and I know there was a blip.
Yeah. So we don't have you on screen, just to let you know.
That's
Yeah.
okay. They don't need
Yeah,
to
that's
see me.
okay.
You need to hear the words
Exactly.
that are
That's why I
coming out
just
of my
but I
mouth.
do want to let the audience know, right? That we don't step over anything, and we just call it as it is. So there's a blip, and Raquel's here. So it's like podcast and live webcast at the same exact time. I really love what you said, because it goes with why we've created this, right? Raquel, we say who we are. We are a vibrant community, right? And that's what Raquel is talking about when she says it's not just one person. You know, one person can be a community. But when I think of the word community, it is more than one person. There is, and many people have certain people for certain things. And sure, I can probably, there's not a thing I don't, Raquel doesn't know that I can't come to her about, and vice versa. There isn't like this moment where I'm like, oh, I can't talk to her about this. And that's, I think, the best, when you're talking about how do you have those lessons that turn into lasting change. It is through community. It is through people in our lives where we are transparent with, that aren't just going to, like she said, listen and go, oh, that's nice, but hold us accountable to our why. We speak our why, we share our why or whys, like there could be more than one, that's overarching, so that they, when we're calling them in these disempowering moments, in these moments of, like, that could be chaos, it could be overwhelm, whatever, pick your word, that they hold that space and remind us, and sometimes have to speak it back to us about what our why is. And Raquel and I often do that with regards to, if we'll just use this as a show, life happens. We feel just like everybody else, tired, not feeling good. Blips happen and clips happen, and we're here anyway. Because that why is about empowering and educating and equipping you guys, which is us. We are all one big community, and we are committed to have these topics talked about, having you guys share your insights, your questions, concerns. This is why we're here, and that drives us all the time. So thanks, sis, for reminding everybody, this is not just Rise and Thrive Together, Raquel and Regina. It is our community. And that's one of the ways that you can have lasting change. The more people, and it doesn't have to be a ton. My mom always said a handful, she always said if you had one person, you are blessed. And that's how that lasting change can happen. So that no matter what the blips, whatever happens, they're there because they hear, listen, and hold your why out there. So I really, really love that conversation, sis. It's really good. One of the things I was thinking about when we're talking about our, year of transformation is like, okay, so what are some of our biggest wins? Are there any wins that, you could say at this moment in time that you'd like to share with the audience?
Well, it's nothing new. The biggest win that I had this year, and something that I wasn't necessarily looking for, was when I got involved in community, and now I am the president of the NAACP Willingboro and Vicinity branch. Leadership is not new to me. Let me just say that. This is just in a different arena, but I'm also a different person than the last time I was a leader. So I've transformed, since we're using that word. And this is different. I absolutely enjoy it. Are there challenging times? Absolutely. Like that's life, right? But that was an unexpected win for me, even though I moved up because other people stepped down from the role. And that's how I moved up. But nonetheless, that was a big win.
That is fantastic.
Mm.
One of the things that Raquel has shared, that she's, the leadership that she is bringing to her community and to the others that she works with. We have been joking, and I'm not really going to say joking, that I'm like waiting for the transformation of 2026 of when she starts running for local office. So I'm putting that out there if you say yes or no to it. But that's the type of leadership that other people see you as. And I say that because I love to ask, our viewers. People often say that to me, and I know they've said that to you, Raquel, like they see us in our leadership and they see us in a bigger role. And many times people deflect. Stop it. No. And I realized, having a conversation with someone the other day that I may not go for that role, right? I may not, want that role that they say, but I really wanted to look at that. Like, what is that lesson that they're saying about me? I want to embrace that, and really acknowledge that. That's the type of win I see in my own personal transformation. When somebody sees me and says, the difference that you're making, the impact that you're making in my life or in the community, I can see you and we'd love to see you as, and then fill in the blank. And although,
Mhm.
right, although you may not like, I don't know about you, sis, but like I deflect that often. I'm like, and I laugh it off.
Same.
Right. And so someone said that to me the other day, the person that, I said was having a conversation about these questions, which was like, deflecting that off, like, what is that about? Like you're just like saying like, no, and, because maybe it's too hard, or maybe there's a conversation in there that it's like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't see myself as that.
But here's the thing for
Go
me
for it.
is even though I deflect, to use your
Yeah.
word, there's a part of me that sees that as being possible.
Mm.
So I can deflect and I'm aware that I'm doing it. I'm also aware of that small part of me that's like, that's possible.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of which voice am I listening to?
Exactly.
The one that is deflecting just because I don't want people to think, okay, well, she thinks she's all this and nothing to do with that. And to be honest, I am, right? God don't create junk. So he created me. So yeah, I am all that. I'm a daughter of the king. So let's be very clear about that. But I listen to the voice because that voice jumps out immediately afterwards, like it's engaged in the conversation. It's like, that's a real possibility, though.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. And that was like the conversation we were having, which was, and then like you said, there's the deflection and then there's the real possibility. And then I love what you said, which is for me the biggest transformation, not just this year, but for a very long time, is then you get to choose, right? You get to choose. Sometimes it's in many times, I'm going to say that it's the other people who are watching us and listening for us that bring areas in our life that we didn't even think of, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even think of. So I love that. And that's a transformative way of thinking of things. And that's really what I want to share with the audience a lot this year, that, we think of transformation as this, like we've arrived somewhere, we've made this big goal. It's many times, it's what we've had in the beginning of our show. If you watch it, before Raquel and I come on, it's that pivot. It's that one little pivot. It's that one little shift in the way that we're thinking about something. And that makes the biggest difference. It's that one little shift. And many times it's like we've said through the years, it's the way that our mind is going. So if we're in this negative space, nothing's working out for me, everything is against me, then you might not hear what somebody's saying. And it's going to be having a little bit more of a struggle to get to that shift. So I
And do you know why you have to struggle to make the shift? Let's have this real conversation because we're about to wrap up 2025. You have that struggle because the words that are coming out of your mouth are the words that are creating the world that you are
Yep.
living in. That's why you have the struggle. Now, please don't misconstrue that, okay, well, if I change the words, then everything is going to be great and wonderful. You are still going to have struggles. You're still going to have
Yep.
challenges, and challenges come to grow you. It is your mindset and it's how you see these challenges and struggles that come your way that will take you to the next step or will keep you where you are, because it's kind of like when you're in school and you don't learn the lesson and you don't do well in your classes, you fail. What do you have to do? You've got to repeat it. So some of us are on like this repeat, repeat, repeat. And my question to you is, when are you going to get out of that class and move up to the next one? Notice I didn't say move back. I said move up
Yes.
to the next one. Get the lesson. You are not the only person that has challenges. And I don't know who I'm speaking to about this, but you are not the only person who has challenges. You are not the only person that feels at times like everything and everyone is against me. But my question to you is, are you included in the everyone that's against you? See, because if you're not included in that group, then you are the one person that is for you, and you will do and speak words. You will do things, action, and you will speak life
Yes.
into your life if the people around you are not doing it. And guess what? Those are also the people you're going to need to kick to the curb in 2026.
Well, that goes perfect. Like, take a moment, people, reflect on that one. Is exactly, what does thriving look like in 2026? And the only way that you can, like Raquel is saying, is really stopping and reflecting on all of these things that she's bringing up, all of these points that you're talking about, the lessons, and we're going to use that word, it's lessons. There's so many definitions of when we say a word. And the minute we say lesson, or if I say challenge, or if I say chaos, or if I say whatever it is, we automatic take a moment and see quietly listen to what your mind is saying. We have this overall way of saying, and the lessons for many people are like, oh, and I've heard it when I said, when you hear the word lessons, like what lessons have brought to you, depending on where you are in your life and your mindset and energy wise, people are like, and it becomes all of what Raquel was talking about. And you're staying back in class, and you're probably even going to be left back even further. And sometimes it almost feels like you're like being left back and back and back, going back to, because that's what all that stuff is. A lot of past based things that you just haven't cleared and haven't been present to and haven't gotten like, okay, I'm going to do whatever it takes to, I don't know, speak to that person, speak to myself and shift that so I can move forward. It's why it's called Rise and Thrive Together. So those lessons are so valuable so that you can then reflect and say, what does thriving look like for me in 2026? And go and write that down and go and create a vision board. Go and speak that to someone who will listen to you and hold you accountable for that. And, one of the wins and one of the prides, and this isn't, like, we seriously believe in what we are talking about here. We do that work. And the biggest win is being able to provide an opportunity if you can't, like you get a little overwhelmed and you're not sure where to start, to create that book for you, to have some reflective questions for you, to have some quotes that, Raquel always brings up some great quotes, and our guests as well, that empowers them to move forward. So we put that, online for you guys. It's available. It will always be available. It doesn't matter when you get it, but that's there for you for that journal. And it's one of those things, journaling, that I will say for me, another way of that has me thrive in 2025. And I will continue to do that for 2026.
Do you know why, Reg, when she said journaling and she said, or speak it to someone, because when you speak it, you're committed to what you confess. If I need to break that down further, I will. What you say is what you're going to do.
Yep.
Okay. When you write it down and you look back a week later, a month later, a year later, and you have because I'm speaking life over you, you have transformed. You look back and say, wow, I don't believe I used to think that way. Like, what was that about? Now, here's the thing, that way of thinking served you at the level you were at. It cannot keep you and sustain you at the level that you are going to next. So there's always going to be a shift. When you speak it to someone, especially if it's someone who cares about you, and y'all know what I mean, please don't act like, what do you mean? Everybody cares about me. No, nobody, not everybody cares about me, right? They care about what I can do for them. That doesn't mean they care about me. But when you speak words to someone that cares about you, they'll come back at you and like, so I thought you were going to X, Y, and Z. What happened?
Yep.
They hold you accountable because they care. So don't think it's because, oh, they just want to see me tear me down and think that I'm going to fail. Stop creating stories. Let's change that for 2026.
Yes.
2020, if you thought we dug into you in 2025, and I know Reg has a nicer way of doing it, that is not who I am. And I do not plan on being like Reg, because I'm going to be all Raquel all day, every day. And the words are going to come out, and they're going to come out however they do. Because some of y'all need that. Because when people sometimes speak so nice, and they're like, well, why don't you consider? But then you get somebody who's digging in your tail. Maybe you need that way in the moment. And maybe other times you need the softer, gentler way of being. But how about being that for yourself? How about let's start doing that? Because there are times, let me tell y'all, when I'm going through some stuff and I'm like, let me call so-and-so, voicemail. Let me call this voicemail. I can call 5 people in a row and get everybody's voicemail. And then I'm like, okay, God, so I guess I have to figure this out for me.
Amen.
All right, so let me sit and figure that out.
Those are the lessons every single time. Every single time. It is really the deep work of, I just had that. It's so funny that you said that, because I went through that when I was driving the car the other day and was just going through something. I knew where you were, right? So it was like, nope. And 5 times in a row, say thing. And I was like, oh, that's the lesson.
Now, I'm not into numbers, but there's a reason I said 5 and then Red said 5, because I really and truly do call 5 people.
Yeah, no, we're not kidding when we say community. That's what she says. It's however it looks for you, however it looks for you. And, like you were saying, having both Raquel and I could be all Raquel, like in my version of that. It's nice to have the balance. That's what's beautiful in the show. You don't want 2 of us, being in there, and we both balance it out beautifully. But when it comes to, here's the one thing I want to I'm going to let go for myself for 2025. Because I love the way you said it, Raquel. This the energy, the way you said it. People are just like, "What I want to be like you, and I don't have things like you." Like if I take it like, yes, you can, right? You know what I mean? Like that's you can. You can. The only reason I have what I have is because I work at it, and I work at it by making connections. I speak to a lot of people, like Raquel says, if you need a peanut farmer, that is my goal for 2026. That is probably the one thing, because she said it, and she said it as a joke, but like, it's like, enough to say like, well, now, like she said, she spoke it many, many times, that there's a reason for it. There's a lesson in there. And that's fun for me. Like it just is. It's fun for me. I'm just like, how many times are you going to say it? But, it's true. And like she said, it's not like everybody. I don't remember how you just said it a couple of minutes ago, but it was really beautiful. Like it's not like everybody's for you. I like that you said that. It's a lot of times, guys, people are for what can you, help me with, get me to. And that's human beings.
Right.
We're looking for in this community, especially Raquel and I, a give and take, right? There's a give and take. There's always times that we are out there making a difference, because like she said, she's a child of God, so am I. We're out there, always doing what we can do, volunteering, giving back in any way. But we're talking about the people that are going to hold us. It really does strongly start with us. So when those phones don't, get answered, that is your biggest lesson. That is your biggest lesson, to take a moment and really, writing is a lot, speaking is a lot. And I got, guys, as a gag gift, a couple of weeks ago, I went to a mom's group and we gave out the white elephant exchange. Like, you pick a number. So then there was a gag gift. And do you know what my gag gift was? And I was so, like I'm a little kid. I got a cassette recorder.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I will post it in the community, Rise and Thrive Together community. I didn't even know they made it. And it comes with little headphones. And Josh and I were cleaning out. By the way, want to hold myself accountable. We're a couple of days toward the end. Still don't have those shelves yet in the closet, but got more stuff out.
Nice.
So we're working on it. We're working on it. So we're home for the weekend. Let's see if it'll be done before the the eve, but it's happening. More stuff is getting out of the closet, rearranging things.
Nice.
Why I say that is because there was something I just got rid of. You know what they were? Cassette tapes. I had this cassette tape of my first karaoke that I ever did.
Wow.
I don't know if I'm telling my age, guys, but you remember those days back in the day, you get a karaoke tape. So now I got the cassette player and I'm laughing. No, I have to look. I have one other place underneath my bed that I wonder if I saved, because Josh knows me. I'm a pack rat. So I probably hid one somewhere and said, nope, But now I'm excited because now I get to go buy some cassette tape.
Right.
And why I say this is writing, speaking. Yes, we have a phone. I'm working on keep on transforming my very committed time on social media and phone, and especially things in your ears. Research is showing more and more things about like phone to your ears, ear pods. So I love that I got this cassette tape, because I don't even need to put the earbuds in. I could just walk with the cassette tape in my hand and speak.
Right.
Old school, there's a reason for it.
Yes.
Less is more. And so, I'm just playing around with that, right? The balance of it all. Like Raquel was saying, we have different personalities, different things. We know how to balance it out. So that's what I'm bringing into 2026 is, speaking and finding ways of doing that. And I just was like, okay, yes, we're going to go out on stages. We're going to speak. We're going to talk about stuff. But there is something around my book that came out, and I met somebody, and a big win is she is the TEDx person in charge here in Broward County. And she's very interested in supporting me based on the book that she bought of my book about what my talk really is, bigger than what I thought it would be around my donating my kidney. And I was like, okay, I'm going to record. And I got that. Like I literally got the cassette tape. Now I just got to go on Amazon, because I don't think you can buy them anywhere.
You might be able to. You'll be surprised.
I'm going to stop at Walgreens and check, and CVS. But
you need to find an old record store.
Oh, I do have one
in your neighborhood.
Yeah, I do, down the block. Yes, I do.
They may also have
those blank tapes,
cassette tapes. Yes.
Yeah. I'm seriously, I'll go to Goodwill. I bet you'll find them on the Goodwill, right? The old Maxwell tapes.
Another one, yes.
Yeah, it was just funny, but here's the transformation. As I'm speaking it out loud and I'm speaking with you guys, that's what you just said. And it just gave me the opportunity of how to go about to do that. So I'm excited. That's when I'm moving into 2026. Like you said, speaking, working on what that talk, because the book really is my big win of 2026. And we've got a couple of amazing things that are coming out in 2026 with the book, and of course we had our amazing guest Hal Eisenberg, so we shared a little bit about that. But it's a talk that I did not even wouldn't have put it that way without having someone like her. So again, just like Raquel's got some things that she's working on, we have a lot to share in 2026 together. And I'm just going to leave with you guys that, it's always a joy. We get so much with, you guys being on here with your questions, with your responses. I want to thank all the guests. I want to thank all of the people that came on to share about their wins and share about how they saw transformation in their life. And this show is about that. That's what we're here for. Every week is a brand new episode. It is not pre-recorded, pre-rehearsed in a sense of like we've rehearsed it and then came on. I want to say that the transformation happens every single time. So my transformation, gets even bigger on Monday nights at 8 p.m. And that head goes to bed, and then I wake up with that. So I just want to, of course, thank you, Sis, as being one of my amazing friends and chosen family and one of my best mentors and accountability partners. And then, of course, everybody out there as well.
Absolutely. Love you, back at you. And before we close out 2025, what I'd like all of us to do is take a breath and give yourself credit.
Yes.
You showed up in 2025. You learned, you stretched yourself, and that matters. Growth isn't loud, it's consistent. Thank you so much for letting this space, Rise and Thrive Together, be part of your journey in 2025. Until next time, and get used to this closeout, y'all. Until next time, stay grounded, stay curious, and keep choosing you. Have a blessed new year. If you're going out and you partying, please be safe. We love you all and we want to see you. So happy new year, and we will see you in 2026. Take care.